First question I want to ask you is what made you start bare knuckle boxing?
I figured, it's the purest form of fighting, and it's gonna bring the purity out of a fighter. I mean, and I think it's exciting, and that's like as a true fighter, uh, you fist fight is the way to resolve a lot of things. It's gonna bring the real person out.
Yeah, 100%, mate. So you had a boxing career, went 20 wins, three losses. So could you talk me through your boxing career? What was that like?
Yes, I had a lot of layoffs in betweens. From 2004, I turned professional. I didn't have a manager. I went 3-0 as professional, and then I had a 2-year layoff because I didn't have a manager. And in 2006, I signed with a manager. Um, I signed with a manager. They were both Italian, and they gave me the nickname Dat Be Dat. So like that is that, I guess. So um as an Italian said, So in that 2 3 years I was with them, I got all my fights really. I got 1 year in the 12-month calendar year, I have 9 fights. I went undefeated until I was 10-0. And my ninth fight that year, I was burnt out as a fighter, and I told my manager I need a break. And they told me to take one more fight and then you can go on a break. And that 9 fight in the 12-month calendar year, I was burnt out. So I fought a very close fight, a split decision loss against that guy, and kind of hurt my career. And after that, my manager kind of, left me. And so in 2009, I didn't have a manager, and I wanted to stay uh, in the boxing game. So, either get a job, and raise a family, or moved on moved continue to fight my boxing career. So what I did is I had a regular job and it was just killing me. It was killing me inside. And I figured, the way for me to stay in a sport of boxing and continue my career was to open a boxing gym. So that's what I did. I opened up a boxing gym with my wife. We ran it for 10 years. It helped support my family. At the same time, it kept me in the sport of boxing. And in between, every 2 years they will give me a call, top rank, golden boy, main events. They give me a call against the top prospect, and I take those fights, and I lost. And in 2017, I took a fight against an undefeated kid, 22-0. I knocked him out. I thought, beating him would put me back into the title contention, and I just didn't get another big fight. And bare knuckle came out, and I know David Feldman very well. I reached out to him, and I wanted to be a world champion in bare knuckle, and he gave me the opportunity.
Okay, and then you went on to become a bare knuckle world champion in
Yes.
bantamweight division. So how did that feel? What was that like?
Oh man, it was like finally, like all this year, like I mean, I turned professional in 2004, and in 2000, was that 2021? That's when I become a world champion. That's a long stretch of career, to actually call myself a world champion after all those years of determinations and belief. I never quit. I never give in. I finally became a world champion. Not even though it's not boxing, it's bare knuckle, but I became a world champion, and that was a great accomplishment that I felt, But my goal is still there. I want to be a boxing world champion. You seek something out from the beginning. You have to go the whole nine way, and it's still in the back of my mind that when I spoke to David, I said, my goal is still to be a boxing world champion. He said, you go and win the world title again in bare knuckle, and I'll put you in a position for a world boxing title.
So do you think that's a plan to win another bare knuckle title and then go on back into boxing and become a boxing world champion?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So is there any names or anything that you're looking to fight this year?
For boxing or for bare knuckle?
Either or.
Oh yeah, the right now, David wants to put me in line for the 145-pound title. So I'm gonna fight the winner of I'm gonna fight the champion. They're gonna inaugurate the 145-pound title in June, and I'm gonna fight the winner of that, and then hopefully I could capture that 145-pound title. That will make me two divisional world champion. And like I said, David wants me to fight Palomino again, which is the 155-pound champion. That was in my last, the fight before my last fight, and I thought I won that fight. Because it would have made me even a bigger name if I would have captured. I went up 2 weight class to fight him. If I would have captured that title, it would have made Bkfc very huge. It would have made me a bigger name. But unfortunately, that fight, they gave me a loss, but which I believe I won.
Yeah, 100%. So the 22-0 fighter that you beat back in 2017, Miguel Flores. So
Right.
do you think sometime down the line you could potentially have a rematch with him or something like that?
I mean, like he's not a world title holder. Beating him again, it's gonna be it's not gonna elevate me to a world title. He did fought for 2 world title. After he lost to me, they put him in they put him in they put him in a position to fight for a world title. He fought Leo Santa Cruz. He fought Leo Santa Cruz for the title at 130, which I believe I would beat him. I would beat Leo Santa Cruz. I would beat Abner Morris. Um, but obviously, those guys they don't want to fight a guy like me. They don't want to fight a guy that's gonna come at them and they have the potential to lose. So they want to pick guys that they figure they could beat. And so like me not being ranked number one, they don't have to fight me
Yeah,
unless
man.
there's money on the table.
Last night we witnessed Bare Knuckle FC 41. Now
Right.
the main event, Luke Rockhold versus Platinum Mike Perry. What did you think of that?
I was it was a great show. I mean, Conor McGregor showed up. You know what I mean? That was crazy because a few years ago, I like I said, my goal was to fight the biggest name possible, and my goal was to fight 135, win the title there, win the 45-pound title, and then win the 155-pound title, and then call out Conor McGregor. And Conor was a 155-pound champion at the time from the UFC, and I knew that he was a good striker. He would love to go to Bare Knuckle FC and capture another title in another combat sports, which would make him a legend. So I think that maybe he would possibly go to Bare Knuckle just to cement his legacy as a well-rounded, multiple combat sports champion. So he was there that last night. He shocked, like I mean, everything was kind of shocking, But he's the biggest name in the UFC, and he was there talking to Mike Perry, holding the belt. So who knows? It kind of blew Bare Knuckle FC up to the roof. That would blow Bare Knuckles to the top of the scene. Right now, it's still a lot of people has heard about it, but the following is nowhere near the UFC level. The platform is growing like tremendously. I think within 5 years. But if Conor, actually, because Conor is the biggest name in the combat sports right now in MMA. So his following is huge. So if he goes to Bare Knuckle FC, that would just make it mainstream and they're gonna generate freaking. I think it would generate record sales and viewership. I mean, bare knuckle is I think like I said, it's one of the purest form of fighting. With gloves, it's more of an art. Boxing glove, you can. It's more of an art. Bare knuckle is more of a grit and heart. You know, to be able to succeed in that game.
Yeah, because we were speaking a minute ago about obviously you potentially making a comeback to boxing. Do you think when you make that comeback, there won't be any fear because you've been in there with no gloves? So do you think going back into boxing, there won't be any fear?
Oh yeah, I mean boxing, I would just be so much better as a fighter. I mean, if you could close the distance in bare knuckle with gloves, it's so much easier because you know I become a fearless fighter, and most fighter they in boxing they don't know how to close the range. They don't know how to walk through those punches and force the fighter to fight. And being a long time boxer, that's a lot of fighters fear. I would say 80% of the fighters they don't like to fight in the pocket. They want to stick and move. Once you get close to them, you force them to fight you, and that's like I said, that is the highest level of fighting. You force your opponent to fight you, and he has no choice but to throw a punch back at you. You know what I mean? And that's the type of fighter I am. So I think if I go back to boxing, I'm gonna be able to bring the best out of myself this time.
Okay, so your most recent fight was a few weeks ago against two-time Bellator world champion Daniel Strauss. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, he was a two-time Bellator world champion, and I took him lightly. I took him lightly. Like I said, this is the first time in my career that I took somebody lightly, and it made the fight harder than it is because I was overconfident. I was in great shape. My wife, every time I fight, she worried for me, and because you know how brutal bare knuckle is. But as long as I'm in great shape and I train well, she has no worries for me because she knows my potential. But like I said, I was overconfident, and I keep telling her, "Look, honey, I'm in great shape. I very strong. I'm gonna knock this guy out once I hit him." And keep telling her that, it sink in my mind, like I was overconfident. And sometimes being overconfident is not good. You got to be able to be just there to visualize how the fight will play out if it doesn't go your way. And I didn't visualize those moments. All my previous fight, I visualized every single um, scenario in a fight, and that made me, have to switch gear. But this fight, I didn't do that. And when in I think the third round, after I hit him with some good shots, he was able to take those and came back, and it shocked me. It shocked me. So when he hit me in my left eye, it blinded my left eye, and it forced me to close the distance and force a fight.
Okay, so do you think you sort of needed that in a way? Because obviously next time you fight, you're going to be a hundred times more prepared, a hundred times more ready if anything like that does happen. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. Like this fight is an eye opener for me. Like I said, I'm a man of God, a man of faith. And this fight, God humbled me. God humbled me because I was overconfident. Um, God, tested me there. God said you were arrogant. You was overconfident, and you didn't need my help. You didn't pray to me. Uh, so I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna test your willpower. And like I said, it opens up it got me closer to God. All my previous fight, I pray to God, and I asked Him to bring the best out of myself, and I'll just you have to be truthful to yourself. And in this fight, I was overconfident. I was being a man, and then God humble you. When you're overconfident, God is gonna humble you, and He's gonna put you through a test, and that's what I felt. And now that after this tough fight, I could see everything that I did wrong. So I'm gonna fix those things. I'm gonna fix my mindset, my skill, my perform. Like I said, I need to work on things that I need to work on. That's gonna show a way better version of myself, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy I was able to go through those experiences to be able to see what I need to improve on.
So do you know when your next bout is going to be?
Um, like I said, the fight for the 145-pound title is at 145 in June. June, which is for the guy that's gonna win the title at the champion is gonna be declared in June. I would love to fight by August, but I don't know if my opponent's gonna be ready by then. The champion's gonna be ready by then. So we'll see if I can get into boxing or another fight before that by August.
Okay, so that's all the questions I have for you, mate. So I really do appreciate you taking this interview. So yeah, thank you, mate.
It's my pleasure, brother. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that so much, guys.